Welcome to Turmeric and Tequila with your host, Kristen Olson. Questioning a better way, one gracefully disruptive conversation at a time.
Welcome to Turmeric and Tequila. I am excited to be with you here today. As always, we have a really exciting conversation for you. This human is across the world, so you know I love when we are uniting mission-driven minds, continent to continent, which is really cool. Before we jump in, I do want to give a special thank you to our sponsors, Colorado Clownfish Swim School. They are local and woman-owned. They are water safety training and swim lessons for all ages. They believe in life skills through sports, so go waterproof your family today. And our very own Declan James watches. They are local and veteran owned with 10% of all of their proceeds going back to the Navy SEAL Foundation. So go check them out. And without further ado, I want to welcome a fellow podcaster, a super badass, and a fellow coach and leader to the TNT mic, Christine Blosdale. Welcome.
Kristen, thank you so much. I've been really looking forward to it. This is like Christmas morning to me. Yes,
I know. I feel like we have like similar energy for all the stuff I've kicked out. So I'm excited that we can just put out some power vibes. I just see like tangible glitter in the air as people are listening to this conversation.
I feel the goosebumps. Yes.
Yes. Let's go. Okay. So I do want to read your background because I love it. And I think it touches on a few things that you do. So we cover all the details, but Christine Blosdale is the expert authority coach who helps entrepreneurs, authors, and thought leaders get seen, trusted, and paid for what they already know. With over 25 years in media, marketing, and broadcasting, she shows experts how to clarify their message, build their credibility, and become the unmistakable choice in their field. Christine is a speaker, podcast host, and visibility strategist dedicated to helping brilliant people stop being the best kept secret in their industry. And I love this. Her book is A Hoot, the social media and branding survival guide, digital marketing so irresistible, even your ex will want to follow you. Boom.
But hopefully not stalk you.
Yeah.
They're just going to be interested in what you're doing.
Yeah. I mean, stalking's kind of like revenge status. So maybe that's not the worst thing. I think they're that curious. So you don't have to deal with authorities. But on that note, no, I think that's you cover a lot of bases. Before we get to the mission, if you listen to TNT, we'll get to all the pro status. But I want to know about Christine as a young human, because I do think who we are is written in the stars very early and we have behaviors of our future. Tell me about your young self and if that was the case.
What's really interesting is I was terribly shy as a kid. Somebody would come to the house and I would hide behind my grandmother's recliner. Grandmother's always had those recliners in the den, the TV den, and I would hide behind there. But I was actually, you know what, both my grandmother and my mother showered love upon me and told me that I could do anything. And this is also something that is very American. I've discovered, I live in Australia now. I've been here for full-time about 6-7 years. And it's so unique about Americans is that we are told from the get-go, you can accomplish anything, you can do anything. And that perseverance and that optimism really is very unique to Americans. So I did have all that love and attention when I was little from my mother and my grandmother. And my mom actually gave me a great deal of self-respect, in my opinion. And I was one of these children. I'm very hyper aware of things that fit and things that don't. Right? Things that just aren't right. I'm the first one to kind of speak up about it. Or if there's a painting on the wall and it's askew, if I'm at somebody's house or if I'm at a restaurant, I'm the one who gets up and like, excuse me, I have to get up and move it because it's just off. Right. Mm-hmm. And so as a little kid, like 4 years old, maybe, my mom would be getting ready to go to work, and she's a single mom, struggling, and she would be getting all dressed. My mother was the most beautiful woman in the world. A cross between Sophia Loren, Cher, and Elizabeth Taylor.
Oh, all the heavy hitters. Okay.
With the French Moroccan accent. Okay. So she's getting ready, and she'd be all dressed up and everything, and I'd just be sitting there just like completely idolizing her. And she'd say, "Oh, my Shelly, how do I look?" And I'd go, I'd cross my arms and I go, "Well, this goes well, that's but I would wear those boots. I don't think that those shoes go well. I think you need to wear those boots." And she would change
Wow.
every single time. She would change as a grown ass woman
Mm-hmm.
who had her own style, but she would change because she wanted to also show that she was listening to me and she appreciated my opinion. So I got that validity, I guess you'd say, that confidence really young about what I thought and what I felt was the right thing to do. So that really just started me. And then foreseeing it, how you were like when you're a little kid, things happen to you or you experience things, and then later in life you go, that's why. Okay.
Yep.
10 years old, Christmas morning, you'd think I got a pony or a puppy or a bike. No, Christine got a Radio Shack cassette recorder.
Yes.
I thought I was losing my mind because I was so excited because then I could start recording. I could tell stories. I could do interviews with my stepdad. I could, interview my, the cat, whatever. I was able to start working in audio, and I loved it. I absolutely fell in love with it. And then later on, of course, 20 years in radio broadcasting and then podcasting, and that's what I do for a living, now is I talk to people and my clients, I get them to be seen and heard on as many different platforms as possible. So it was all just kind of sprinkled in there as a kid, little
Yeah.
Christine.
Amen. I know you say like 20, 25 years of experience. I think you need to add years on there because you've been doing it since like you were 4 or 5, which
I
is so
know,
true.
yeah.
I had this thing. You remember those little tiny like mini tape recorders, like old school interview things?
The little micro cassette ones?
Yes. Yeah. The audio
Yeah.
was horrendous. It's kind of cool now, like some of that stuff's coming back, but that's what I had. And we used to interview each other, like me and my friends and I. And it's weird to think, and then podcasting didn't come down. I had a little bit of experience. I was a comm major, a little bit in radio, but yeah, it's weird to think back that, I was like this weird kid that liked radio and like hearing my own voice, like a baby narcissist, but wasn't the case at all.
There's no ego in it at all. It's just like, this is cool.
Totally. It's the weirdest thing. I am curious actually, because there's always like, I don't know, people just make controversy. I think particularly in America of like podcasting versus radio and like what's the purest and what what makes it, what constitutes for a podcast. How do you like straddling being the bridge between those worlds? How do you feel about the two? And like, how would you like, do you land on either side?
I loved radio for, like I said, for 20 years, I was in broadcasting as a producer and writer, and then of course as an on-air host, and reluctantly, because I wanted to be behind the scenes. I didn't want to be on air, but I got kind of pushed into it, and then I loved it. But
Yeah.
I loved radio. The whole thing is I loved audio. I love the art of the interview. I love storytelling. I love that someone with their voice can command an audience and hold them captured. Also, I love the fact that you're not judging somebody based on how they look. It's like, why does she have a nose ring? Why does she have tattoos? Why is she wearing that shirt? No. In radio and podcasting, well, not vodcasting, but podcasting, you actually, you don't know what that person looks like, so you're only feeling their intention and listening to their words. So it's magic. I love it. That said, with radio, there's commercial radio, and then there's like nonprofit community radio, right? I was luckily in community radio and not that shock jock commercial, hey everybody, didn't do that. No.
Yeah.
Thankfully. But that said, it's a model, it's a tough model, because in order to pay the bills and keep the signal going, you have to either raise a lot of money, like in fund drives, and everybody just hates those, or if you're a commercial radio station, it's so tough because it's all on advertising. And while I loved it, as podcasting started, I was really intrigued, because I was like, oh, you don't have to be listening at that moment to a show to capture something magical. You can actually listen to it in the 3 o'clock in the morning if you wanted to. You can listen to it in a week from now. That was the great thing about podcasting. It was that it was sort of on demand. It's like what I want to hear, as opposed to programming where you have to be listening in your car at that moment to catch that program, right? Or those words that people are talking about, those things. So I immediately saw the value of podcasting. But I also realized that along with podcasting and streaming and all the different social media platforms we have, radio just has become a bit of a dinosaur, and it doesn't have that same power that it did have. Now there's more people choosing what kind of content, people choosing turmeric and tequila to listen to,
There you
right?
go.
They're seeking it out.
I mean, I hope so. Let's put that into
Yes.
yeah. Keep showing up. Let's go. Yeah,
Yeah.
when we get valuable guests and humans that lead with their heart and then find a way to make that their mission and their purpose and then monetize it in the right way, like there's just nothing cooler than that. And that's why I started the show, is because like I hail from marketing and branding, and we are very much, if you know old school philosophy, reality is nothing more than applied meaning. A lot of meaning is coming through this phone. So as marketing and branding professionals, we're facilitating a lot of that meeting. So I was like, oh damn, okay, we got to get real people doing real things. And like, if we're going to feed this beast, we're going to feed it the right fuel, and that's good people doing good things. So it's a magical time, I think, to be in both. And the radio and podcasting, I do think, are two different kinds of listeners. So if you can be in both pockets, I think it's really cool. Yeah. And there's space for both. Like seemingly opposing things can harmoniously coexist. I think people get tied up on like wearing one t-shirt or the other, and you can do both things because it is kind of different animals. And all humans that listening are worthy of being reached or having that opportunity to be inspired.
Well, especially and radio is, so largely listened to by people in their cars, in their vehicles, right? Whereas podcasts, they're all different platforms, in their cars, of course, but at home, people have it so that they've got, when they're doing their chores, they're doing their stuff, doing workouts, all of that. There's a lot of people listening to podcasts while they're at the gym, doing that horrible treadmill.
Zone right out.
It keeps their mind right off of it. But I really like it because it's about people seeking out the information that they want. Instead of, because programming, you look at television programming and look at radio programming, it is a set thing that's being pushed out there. And so this with podcasts, man, there's podcasts about everything. There's true crime, there's biography stories, about people that are of interest, science, all kinds of stuff. And that's what I love. And one of the things that I really enjoy doing with my clients, because it's all about getting them seen and heard, right? So I will also help them create their own podcast for their brand. It's one of the smartest marketing moves you can do, is to have your own podcast. Now, you want to do it the right way. All right. You don't want it to be all about you, me, I. You don't want it to be like that. But you want to have a platform like a podcast so that you can bring on incredible guests, but it's also fantastic for your business. It just raises your expert authority up there, like writing a best-selling book. Same thing.
Exactly. It really is. This generation are younger humans that grew up with the internet. They want to see the human behind the mission, who they're buying from. They're conscious consumers. They really get the joke, long before we did, because their exposure is just so much more. And perfect segue. It is. It's so magical that, radio and podcasting, that both exist. And what a time to be an entrepreneur or a human with something intentional to say, because now we have the opportunity as creators and entrepreneurs to reach more people. And I think that in itself can facilitate so much positivity in this world. Obviously, as you noted, with intentionality and with a great duty of responsibility for what you're putting out, it's really a powerful tool. And as before we got in the mic, we talked about, the state of the world is wild right now, whatever side of the fence you sit on, or if you straddle both, it's hard for everybody. And the beautiful piece about any of these mediums, even social media, the upside is connecting with like-minded humans. When you're sitting down with branding people, and everybody thinks, everyone's got a podcast, there's too many, you don't need to do it as a business. It can just highlight you, the person. I'm so in agreement with you. It's such a powerful tool and that everyone should have it. I think I did a speech specifically on podcasting and how few podcasts there actually are. I think there's like 2 million something out there, and like less than 2% have more than 15 episodes. So it's really crazy how small it actually is. But I love the idea, and I just gave a speech around helping small businesses SEO and being seen. Tell me about like the first pieces of advice you give when someone sits down, like, I've got something to say, I don't know what to do. How do I do it? Like, what are the first steps of really being seen?
Well, what we do, first things first is, as I have a consultation with them, it's 30 minutes where I'm able to just take a look at their digital footprint, find out what it is that they are jazzed about. What's their passion, right? So we hone in on that. And then depending on the personality, because some people are not made to have their own podcast show. That's just not them, right? That's not their personality, because there is work involved. It's not, you don't just like turn on the microphone and go blah, 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 and it's done magically. There's stuff that you got to do, right? But depending on their personality, it might be a podcast show that we create around their brand and their business, or they might be someone that I want to get them out on podcast shows as a guest. It's one of the best. Podcasting is so powerful as a guest or as a host, because the SEO, like you were saying, your name is out there constantly every single time an episode goes out. And if you're a guest, not only your SEO goes up, but your AEO, or your Ask Engine Optimization, your Chat GPT category, that goes up as well. And many times, if not, I mean, almost all times, your website is attached to that appearance, right? So you've got all that great marketing, and it's free. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's just very valuable. But then there's other people who, man, I see them as almost a soon-to-be TikTok star. Their personality is something so great, and they need to start creating those videos. Video content is so powerful, because we get to see the person. We get to feel immediately if we like them, if we're repelled by them. So I think that that's probably one of the things that I push on a lot of my clients is, let's get you on video. There's blogs, and LinkedIn is great for a lot of different reasons, but it depends on the person and their business to know where to place them and where to focus in on. The main thing is, and I have this, it's a mantra of mine. Anybody that's ever worked with me knows, they're like, yeah, I know you say it all the time. And it's on the bottom of every page on my website. It is this. Remember this. If you're not seen and heard, you're not hired. As simple as I could put it. If you're not seen and heard, you're not hired. So you need to do the things that get you seen and heard. Write a book, create a podcast, start doing your videos for TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Start doing that content, because nobody's going to just come magically drive up your street and come knocking at your door if they don't know you exist. So that's the important thing right now. We want to tell people, encourage them to start creating that content.
Amen. This is one of my biggest challenges where I'm like, social media, embrace it. Like, I know there's a downside, but it's such, like you said, it's free. People get to see you, know, like, and trust. It's got to be a personality fit. But how do you advise the humans that are like, I hate social media, or I hate my voice, I don't want to be any of this, even if they've got a great personality and you can see it, like stepping into, and even the word influencer is really cringy. I've tried to embrace it, and even managing some reality ones that I know, it's like, ugh, this space is just so, but you're an influencer. I'm an influencer. Influencer is leadership. How do you manage it with other people embracing that, or even yourself? I'm very curious.
Well, I got over it after a while, because I was like, you know what? If I don't speak up, if I don't say what it is that I'm really good at, and you have to have that confidence, because if you don't like your voice and you don't want to be on video, that's really limiting yourself, right? So you better be a hell of a writer. You better know how to, write a blog or a social media post. If you're not being seen and you're not being heard, then you better be able to have some way of communicating. And I'll say this: if you want to be, it depends on your profession. I know a lot of great authors who are horrible at speaking. You get them on camera, or you get them on a podcast, and they're like, they freeze up, and you ask them a great question, like in tennis, you give them a lob, and they're like, yes, that's true.
This is what makes us good. Yes.
And you're like, oh, far out. This is going to be a very long interview. And I've had that. And they're brilliant at being an author and writing, but they're horrible at speaking. So it depends on the person. But as long as you have a really positive attitude, I can work with you. If you're a negative Nelly, if you're pessimistic, if everything is no, it's that, that field is saturated. There's too many podcasts already. If you're one of these people, I don't want you. I don't want to work with you. I wish you well, but I'm no. It's way too hard for me to try and resurrect, your enthusiasm and positivity. You need to be optimistic as well. It's really important, and you need to be confident.
Yeah.
Confidence is sexy,
Yeah.
and not being egotistical, not being arrogant. There's a fine line. Being confident. If somebody says, "So, Christine, are do you enjoy what you do?" Yes, I love what I do, and I'm really good at it.
Hey.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm really, really good at it. If you're going to go see a heart surgeon because you've had heart issues, do you want somebody who's like, "Yeah, I'm okay. No, you want the best. You want somebody who's
Yeah.
really, really good at heart surgery.
Yep. Well, you've run the laps. You should feel good because you literally have the proof. Like you can look at your own LinkedIn and be like, "Oh, god dang! Like we've done a lot of stuff. Like we've run a lot of laps in this space."
Yeah, well, I'm 61 years old, so I better have done something with
Let's
my
go.
life.
Let's go. Well, and that's part of it. Well, and I want to. So this is like the X factor that you touched on, intentionally or unintentionally, is that internal energy. So you need like branding and the colors and the energy and whatnot and things that fit, but like that internal confidence will say, but like really finding alignment with your soul, your voice, and your mission. How do you advise humans on like facilitating like their own energy and like their own internal conversation? Because even I think it really comes through on video with voice, but the video the audio with voice, but then video you can see people. I think the intangible, like the X factor is that internal energy. Like, God, you're like, damn, something about them. I just believe, or I know they've done it or they believe it. Like it's that X factor that's really hard to coach. And I think you can see it with really good athletes. Like these mofos just know, like when they're going to goal, it's a human that's going to take the last second shot and take the risk. How do you coach that or bring it out of someone? Because that is such an important piece.
Well, because at the very beginning, when we're doing, I have a 90-day program where we basically we work on everything. We work on everything, and in the very beginning, I drive home this point: we are all energy, and not to get woo woo on you, but I'll get woo woo on you.
Yeah,
we
go
are
ahead.
all emanating. We are all emanating a vibe, an energy, a force, all the time. And you've seen it, I've seen it. You come across some a creator, content creator, or a coach, and there's this stink of desperation. There's this desperate, you could tell that they're like, I have to get a sale, I have to get another client, and they're sending you emails every single day about this offer, this, that, and the other, and you can feel it, right? And you can definitely see it also on video. You can sense it. So what it is that energy that you're putting out is extremely important. That is in every photo that you have. So if you have a headshot, if you have a profile shot, there's an energy being put out about that. If you notice about my photo, the main one, I have a few, but the photo that I use on my marketing and my media kit, this image of me is me. The energy that you see off of this photo is 100% me. I have my headphones on. I have a mic in front of me.
Literally the side by side is hilarious. Like that's like,
I know.
You don't have to say anymore. It's literally like 1 and 2. That's so funny. Nailed it.
My mouth is open. It's a photo of me in pure joy, in my element. Okay. And so when people see that photo has opened more doors for me than 100,000 different videos that I've done. It has an energy about it. So that's the first thing that I do when I'm working with clients in that 90 days. That's like day one. We go over, what kind of energy are you putting out? And I'll go to the website and I'll go, this is like sterile. I feel like I need to glove up, in order to visit your website. There's no life in it. It's static. So sometimes I'll be saying, let's create a welcome video, as simple as a 1 minute or 40-second welcome video for your website. So when people come in, instead of all this copy and text and a photo of you, from high school, let's have a video playing with you introducing yourself and saying, welcome to my world.
Yeah.
Take a look around. This is what I do. I help these people do these things. I can help you do this, that, and the other, whatever your message is. That's really important. And then the other thing, one of my tools is working with human design. I will find out my client's human design. And for folks who know, and if you don't know, look it up, Google it. We all work differently. And so that's about your energy too. I'm a projector. And projectors, we work in spurts, right? We have all of this concentrated goodness, and man, I wrote a book. I wrote and published a book yesterday from just
In one day?
yeah, from 3 podcast episodes. It was a series that I did about narcissists. And it's
Shit,
called
it's not for
an,
me.
an interview with the narcissist. And it's like an interview with the vampire, same thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's how concentrated and how freaking fast I am, right? So we work in like those things, but then we also need to know when to go and take a power nap, right?
Yeah.
Unplug.
Yeah.
So but I didn't know that for the longest time. So I was trying to fit my energy blast into a 9 to 5 job where, you know, you're in there and there's fluorescent lights and you're driving, you have to go through traffic and you're there and you're waiting for that 5:01, I can't wait till it's 5:01 so I can bust out of this prison.
Yeah.
That wasn't me. That's not how I flourished. And when I was at a radio station and they had those sort of rules, I said, I will do so much. I will produce so much more if you allow me to work from home. And when I need to come in studio, I'll come in studio, but allow me please to work from home. I promise you. And man, did I produce. I did $1.5 million a year in fundraising. $1.5 million a year in fundraising, but I needed that time to be at home and to let my imagination, so your human design is your blueprint of how you work best in the world. So I utilize that as my tool when I'm working with people. It just helps.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Well, any coach, but rule number 1, know thyself. If you want to be a better human, a better coach, better whatever, you got to know your own internal roadmap. And it takes years to figure it out. What's cool, I've done all the things. I'm here for the intuition and the woo. I actually interviewed a medium yesterday. Like, I'm here for all the vibes. And I'm a generator, in case you can't tell. Like you.
Yay!
Yeah, we go. And then it's like, yo, you need to take a breather and like shut the brain down and stop generating, stop doing all the things. But knowing though that intel can just make the process so much easier. Like an athlete, like instead of training every day, like train the way you know how to train for your body, your nutrition, your things. And it can really make the difference, not even being productive, but enjoying the process. It's really, really significant. And on that note, on the books, I do want to get to your book, The Social Media and Branding Survival Guide, Digital Marketing So Irresistible Your Ex Will Even Want to Follow You. Tell us about that. What is it about? Who's it for? Give us a 411.
Yes. So I truly believe in my energy, my style is fun, right? It's fun, it's humor, it's light, it's enjoyable. So this book is not your dry, stats kind of thing. That's why the subtitle is that what it is. And these are some of my tips. These are some of the resources, the things that my secret sauce. Okay. And this is my fifth book. It's 5th bestseller. And the other ones were all about podcasting. So how to create a podcast for your business, how to be a podcast guest to maximize your impact, all of that stuff. And this is the first one that I did that was not about podcasting. And it's really all my like secret tips that I have that I need to remind people about. So, there's stuff in here about, being consistent. Consistency, even though you think, oh, people have already heard this message. No, darling, you need to repeat it. If your mantra, whatever your mantra is, right? My true mantra is when people say, so what is it that you do, Chris? What do you do? I'm the expert authority coach, and I help overwhelmed entrepreneurs get seen, get trusted, and get paid for what they already know. I could say that mantra in my sleep, right? You need to have that if you're in any sort of business. I don't care if you're selling insurance. You need to have that. So when people say, what is it that you do? You don't look at them like a deer in headlights and go, oh, what do I do? A lot of things. I do this, I do that. No. You need to be real specific, right? And that consistency is important. But there are all these little just reminders for you that you want reminders about your website, what works, what doesn't work, okay? And how you want to show up with that confidence and ways that you can do that. But also to remind people, get your call to actions, your CTAs. Yeah. Your call to action is, if you're on a podcast show, your call to action might be, hey, you want to book a free consultation with me? I would love to talk to you. Go to my website and click book a free consultation. Or if your call to action is if you're selling books, you want to tell people how to get the book, those type of things. Don't just show up and say, I just did a video, I just did a podcast appearance, and then go, what was the purpose of that? Right?
Yeah, totally.
It's important to have that call to action. So that's in the book.
Go get the book. I have 100 more questions for you, but I think it's great. And people always think, well, if someone's already said that or someone's already done that, and then they look for these grandiose steps, and it's like checking the simple boxes first, getting your messaging, getting all that seen. And I'm with you. I think it is actually like figuring out the internal first before you like promote the external.
Yes, you got to get your house right, girl.
Yeah,
you got to get your house right. Get the foundation right before you start inviting people into your home.
That's what's up.
That is very, very important. And speaking of that book, Kristen, I wanted to give your audience, your special audience. Normally I don't, because I don't do this, and I've never given away a book. But I would love to give this to your audience if they follow the link that you're going to have associated with it. It's absolutely free, and it's the Social Media Branding Survival Guide. So they'll get it, and they have clickable links. So if I talked about a particular program that I use or free software, there's a link for them to get that through the book.
Amen. Well, we appreciate that. Thank you. We have lots of entrepreneurs and fellow female business owners and humans trying to do their own hustle, which there's no better time in this world than to step up to the mic and find your own path. Main hustle, side hustle, whatever it needs to be. Tell us, where do we find you? Social media links, we'll have it in the bio, but in case someone's listening via in the car or something, let us know.
Absolutely. So, and when it comes to social media, just so you know, like there's a lot of places that you can find me, lots, but I like to tune people into the two craziest ones, the complete opposites. My LinkedIn profile is a great way to follow me. There's a newsletter there that I do, but then also I love TikTok, and it has very little to do with my business. It's pure enjoyment. It's pure crazy, goofy, weird stuff. So complete opposites. So you can find me there, but the best place to find me and to book a free consultation is expertauthoritycoach.com. You can also go to theexpertauthoritycoach.com, and there's a button there for you to book a free consultation. If you do, though, do me a favor, please let me know that you heard me on Turmeric and Tequila with Kristen. That helps, and I give her that feedback too. So I will tell her, oh my God, one of your listeners reached out to me, and now they're my new favorite bestie. But I want to give that feedback, because we don't, as podcasters, a lot of times we don't get that feedback. We don't know who's actually listening. So please do let me know, and I'll let her know. Yeah.
Yes, we're out here in the abyss, but I know it's landing on the right humans. I always have faith that the right stuff comes out for the right people. And that's why I appreciate this. But I love the energy. I love the branding. I want to give a special thank you to our sponsors, Colorado Clownfish Swim School, swim lessons and water safety training for all ages. Yay! They believe in life skills through sports. So go waterproof your family today. Christine, you're awesome. I love the energy. Our humans, our Americans in Australia, we're always connected to.
We're rooting for you. We're rooting for America.
Yo, send all the vibes. Send all my generators, all my human design humans come through. Yeah. But it's great. So go check her out. There's no better time, like I said, to step into the light, and getting a coach, getting guidance is like your number one thing. So find out where she's at and go connect and tell her we sent you, of course. And this will be wherever you find your podcast. We will have the video on YouTube. I'm going to find you on TikTok. Mine is all fitness. So we'll collab and send some energy there. But again, you can have both things. But go check us out soon. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. And we'll see you in a conversation soon. Cheers.
Cheers. Peace.
Thank you for joining Turmeric and Tequila with your host, Kristen Olson. Tune in next time, and don't forget to subscribe on Apple, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.